I've been doing a lot of reflection lately on how, since I started this channel 6 months ago, it feels in some very big ways that I am undergoing a lot of significant transformation as a person. When I first started filming videos, it was from a desire to document, which has always felt second nature to me. I've always naturally observed and shared my life, both inner and outer, in a creative way. I desired to capture my rhythms of creative living and also just life in general. As an observant person whose inner world is very active and thoughtful, I notice the little things in life, the beauty and mundane tasks that others may tend to overlook, and it gives me joy to creatively share what I see. Some might call this trait creativity. I recently saw a quote that resonated with me so much. Art is highly sensitive people reporting back to the rest of the group what reality is like for them. I have absolutely always felt this way in regards to creating art, be it visual, verbal, or otherwise. The output of creativity, in whatever form that takes, is the result of my inward reality expressing itself. Paintings, words, videos, the way my home or space is curated and arranged, it's all a result of looking at the world, taking it in, processing it through the lens of my own reality, and essentially telling a story about life based on what I observe. There could be no paintings, no personal style, or no books or novels or poems or songs if this weren't true. All creative people are on some level observers and storytellers, taking in the human experience and making something out of it that touches others, or resonates, or simply converts what we see into some emotion or feeling, beauty, joy, pain, sadness, whatever it may be. These videos, both the visual and spoken components, as well as my watercolor artwork, are things that come out of me based on my natural desire to express what reality is like for me. What I've been reflecting on lately is just how much that reality, both internally and externally, is changing. I live in a new place. I am now married and adjusting to life with a partner instead of living by myself as I've lived for so long. I'm pivoting in regards to my visual art career, which has changed so much since September when the hurricane hit here in western North Carolina. The entire structure and routine of my creative life has since been up in the air a bit. The only thing I can compare it to is COVID, when everything from the economy to the future felt uncertain day by day. While it's getting better, we're still kind of living like that here in Asheville. There are a lot of unknowns, and predictability has been eradicated from our worlds as everything from the roads we drive on every day, to the stores we shop at, to the tourism economy that many creatives and businesses base their well-beings on, are in an unstable state. It seems hard to plan or envision what your future will be like in some ways when month to month, sometimes even day by day, things are still shifting. And yet in another way, I'm looking at this season and all its experiences as a metaphor for life. Most of the time, we just don't know what's coming our way, and the universe continues to drive that point home to me as a general lesson in the here and now. There are so many things that are outside of my control, so many things I never would have imagined happening or witnessing or having to process. But again, I guess that is life. It's teaching me resilience and how to change with grace, although that's sometimes easier said than done. So while I was inspired to begin this channel to share and document the world that I knew, I now feel like I no longer live in the same world, and I have to admit that that feels a little disorienting. I sometimes struggle with all the changes and have found it hard to find that inner voice that found so much beauty in life so naturally before. I feel like now I have to work a little harder to create it or observe it. There's been not only a physical and external shift in life simply by way of moving and living in a new place, and experiencing huge changes in my community at large, but maybe more impactfully, there's been an internal change in the person that has to relate to all these things. Even in trying to fill my life with things that do create security and normalcy and predictability, I am learning the important lesson that I do not have control. Or more accurately, what I do have control over is myself, and the stories I tell myself, and the reality I create for myself with my thoughts, words, and actions. I think I have always understood this in perhaps an intellectual way, but now that life has really thrown me some big changes in a short time, I'm starting to learn it in a more active way, a way that's bringing me peace in the midst of things. I am still on this journey, maybe just beginning it really, and I never imagined that 6 months ago I'd be so okay with it all. Okay with the not okayness that I often feel. I'm maybe not thriving yet, but I am at least learning to loosen my grip and trust that everything will be okay. I think that's been one of the hardest things to really understand. That knowing that everything will be okay is not contingent on everything going the way I want it to or expect it to. I sometimes tend to forget, as a person who thrives on consistency and routine, that change is a constant, and the structures we build around our lives to make us comfortable, even if healthy, good, and well-intentioned, do sometimes shift. All seasons give way. When we're in a tough one, there's no better feeling than it's passing, and when we're in a sweet one, there's a tendency, for me at least, to want to grasp so hard as to not to let it slip away. But grasping or not, it's just the way things are, and I have to admit it's taken me a while to accept that in this season of my life. But we are getting there, and I am also learning another important lesson: to have grace for unfinished things, including myself.